Well, we got to talk about this. This is awesome. So, this is Earthly Souls and Spirit Moon Oracle. Now, what I like about this is that the drawings are very animated, they're very colorful, they look more like watercolor print, I want to say. And by the way, welcome to Be So Light. Like and subscribe. Thank you to my new subscriber. I finally got above that one number that's been holding there for over almost 3 years. Can you believe that? Yeah. So I want to talk about these cards. And then I'm going to dive into some chit chat about some things that I saw yesterday, movie wise. And then I had the aha moment when I was watching it. Okay, so this is by Terry Foss, and it is a nice card box. I like the box. It is slightly tilted on the inside here. Love that. Here is your guiding book. Very straightforward and simple. And I like the way that it has its intentional rituals in it. I love it. And this was produced out and was released this year. Love it. Love getting cards on new vibrational energy. Here's the back of the cards. Love it, love it, love it. I saw that. I was like, oh, I like that. It's the phases of the moon. And I'm just going to show some of the pictures because they're so pretty. But the simplicity of them. This is the goddess one. This is serenity. It even has a witchy mermaid one with the hat and the cat sitting there. So cool. Soulful, the owl. Spirit. I just love the colors of the cards. The artwork is so pretty. Wish. Joyous. Love that. Being authentic. Mhm. Abundance. Adventure. Being mindful. Love it. This is so pretty. Autumn. Here's light. The cat and the moon. Being centered. Blossom. Balance. It's so pretty. This is hope. I like how the dress is green, representation of the heart. Imagine. This is meditate. I love this. It's like the spirit of the magical person is sitting on the crescent moon, and then there's a candle and the cat sitting there with her. Love it. Let me go to this is positivity. This is compassion. I love this one. So pretty. This is white light. That noise you hear is the washing machine. Success. This is really cool. I like this. Climbing the ladder, climbing the stairs, going up, and the two cats are greeting her. Love that. Radiant. I love this. Harmony. The colors are just so pretty. I just love the colors. She does a lot of purples and blues in this. It's reds. They're just vibrant colors. I mean, this one evolved. I just love this, the transformation when you're going through transformation. Clarity. Just so beautiful. Let me see. I like this one. Wisdom. So pretty. Breathe. This is beautiful. I love this. Magical. I love this one. I love this. Manifest. Don't we feel like that sometimes? Sometimes when I'm walking and out in parks and things, I feel like this. Just kind of in that moment, here's gratitude. Having gratitude. I love it. This is create. Love it. It's like beautiful. And there's beautiful um inspirational things written in the book, and I love that. Luminous, having faith, love it. Get focus. This is fairy tale, celestial, and peace. Love, love, love these cards. It was kind of interesting because I was like, oh, maybe I should get them, and I just kind of gravitated towards them, and I said, yeah. The back of the book has this. The inside, it'll be with the picture, and then it has a positive affirmation at the bottom, which is really nice. And then it has the description, and it goes into setting your intentions. So, and I like to use the intention part for journal prompting when you're doing journal. In the back, it does have the Q code where you can go and stay in touch if you so desire to. Um, and then this is Terry Foss, the author. And I love her work. It's so, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's very soothing, it's very whimsical, magical. It's a very nice set. So then, because I originally, now everyone knows I do my reads. So when Rebecca Campbell put out this first one called Work Your Light, for light workers and healers, being guided. I love this set. I fell in love with this set, and I just kept this set, and I just kept on going with it. So then a couple of months ago, I got the rose set. Okay, went ahead and got the rose. I like how the box is cut, and you can actually use the box to lay cards in to do the read, or if you're doing meditation or prayer work or what, that card can represent an intention of what you're holding it for. Then I went ahead and completed my collection and got the star seed. And the star seed one, I was caught off guard because first of all, I love the back of it. Beautiful. It's almost like the same feeling like the rose one, but this one feels really good also. And I love the pictures and the healing behind it. Like, you got love. I love that. Very flowing. You're not alone. Love that. This is all about our galactic travels, the star ancestors. I love this. Thoth and how they're up in the ethers, the knowledge, star bathing, being in the stars. Activated Earth, which is already happening. More ways than none. Just beautiful cards. I love this. Karmic relationships. Let's get rid of those. Heal them, transcending energy, and it doesn't need to be karmic. This one is portal. A lot of this is going on right now. That's for sure. We need a lot of this. Big picture thinking. This has arrived to the planet. This is already taking place. Star family is already here. The watchers and the star keepers are already making their notations. And let me see. And this, she had the golden children. which are already starting to flood our planet. The new babies coming in. They are already upgraded and they already have their DNA in place. And the xenomorphs are very afraid of that because they are already awake. So, and that's another reason why the xenomorphs are pushing for the golden ones to be put to not have their light shine, if you know what I mean. To get those. So it takes away their lighting ability, their God-given divineness. So those are my cards. And in case you're wondering, why do I have cards? Because I do reads. I've been reading since, dang, I've been doing readings for people since the age of 9, vision. And it's just something that is a natural gift that I have. Comes with information. Now, here, since we've been going through bifurcation and different timelines are leaving, a lot of information comes in that's usually I see it and I'm thinking, okay, that's going to be taking place right now, da 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 da. But usually now what's happening, I'm seeing the timeline of the event that's coming in. So I have to get used to a different type of lingo that I'm saying, especially if I see something for somebody else, I see it coming in. So it's been really interesting to kind of just understanding that new upgrade of connection. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, this movie called The Children of Darkwood House or Home, is on Tubi for free. And I like the movie because it was based on kind of like your occult mysticism, trying to figure out what happened to the children. Okay, these children disappeared in this house, and the mother was always trying to find the children, looking for the children. They disappeared. So she calls in a intuitive lady who actually goes into the house and she starts to try to figure out what happened to the children. Where did they go? Who took them? Where are they? Are they still alive? Are they crossed over? She starts doing some diving in, and it's really good the way they do it. They show it's kind of interesting. She has like her little doctor bag with her, but it has all her like candles, the dowsing rods, I was just like, oh, look at this. So it was really kind of it takes you into the storyline of what happened to the children, what's going on, what took place in this house, whatever happened to the husband, why was this, and then she starts digging, and she starts finding out why this man was having so many children, and then it starts to go down that rabbit hole, and it's like, oh no, and then the mother who couldn't figure out what happened to her children, she loses her mind, and then she's being tormented by the spirit that's in that house, and finally she dies. She ends up suiciding, and it's just a lot of moments that you have to watch what's going on, and it's a lot of hidden medicine things in there. They talk a lot about mirrors, how mirrors are portals, even your TV. Now, even this TV is not on, but that's still considered a portal because it's black and it's open. So at nighttime when I'm sleeping, I cover that up. I just put something, cover it up because I don't need anything coming through that shouldn't. Now, I already take care of this, shut it down, and put a nice protective shield on it so nothing can be coming through there. But you have to be watchful, especially now, because we're in the silent spiritual warfare where they want to come and get you in the silence of the night. Anyway, you gotta pay attention to that, cover that, okay? Because it becomes a window. So they were talking about mirrors and doors, a lot of mirrors and doors in the movie. So if you get a chance to take a look at that, watch that on Tubi. It's for free. Then I was just kind of like cruising through, and I said, "Oh, Hostel 1 and 2 is on here." Because I was gonna watch Drag Me to Hell. I already seen that one. That one has a lot of information in it, and I said, I'll revisit. I will revisit Hostel. And I was really the first time I watched those movies, I remember, wow, that's really scary. Da 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 da. I watched it at that time, but now being fully awake and knowing what I know now, and then to watch it when they're getting the phone calls and how they're all making a bid, I was just like, oh my God. I never paid attention to that part when I first saw that movie. And I was just watching how the handlers come in and they be all nice and they're friending you. They're, showing you around. I mean, she came in really, really easy, really sweet and easy, and already knew how she was going to get these three girls and how she was going to post them, sell them so that she could get these elite ones that would come for the weekend to fly out to the location and go have their fun. And I just remember when I'm watching it, I'm like, wow. It is so true when they put movies together how they are actually telling you what they do, how they get away with it. And the threat also, I wasn't paying attention to when they go is a contract. So they have to do the kill. They have to commit the kill. And then they can go on about the business. If they don't do the kill, then that's messing up the contract. So nobody can leave out of there with their hands clean. Their hands have to be dirty. So they have something on you. They have a tracking on you. They have something on you. And I was just watching it, and I was just like, wow, look at that. And then looking at the coded messages of what these individuals were doing in the movie, what one room represented, what this room represented, what this one came in and what theme she was playing, laying in the bathtub with a woman suspended above her. I was just like, whoa, it's an entirely different thing when you go back and revisit those movies, knowing that we're on a higher frequency and your DNA is more on board, you're more awake, and you can see the hidden messages in the movie so clearly now. And just to see that one, to go revisit that one, and just to see it all laid out in front, and I'm just like, it gives a whole new perspective to horror movies. It really does. It makes you now wonder, are those really actors that you're seeing in there? Yeah, you see your actors and actresses, but in some movies that are what you call low C, a low D, not even barely a B movie, it makes you wonder, are those really actors? Or is that clipped in movie footage of something actual real that you're watching and you're just thinking it's a movie? How many times have we seen things thinking that, wow, that's that looks so real? And maybe it was real, you know, just looking at it, maybe it was real. Um, so I'm watching it, and then when it gets to the last girl, and this guy who it looks like he's a wimp, like he's not gonna do anything. He totally fakes her out, and he turns out to be a in the closet monster. He gonna go all the way anyway. And towards the end, it was. I loved how she how they didn't check her background. They didn't realize who she was when they kidnapped her and putting her in one of them, selling her. And the tables turn when she gets the guy who was torturing her, puts his butt in the chair, and then they all the business dark business people come in to the room and are like, nobody can leave this room unless there's been a kill. Da 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 da. A contract has to be fulfilled. And she says, how much I can buy my way out of this. And the guy is looking at her like, you can't buy your way out of this. She goes, I can buy everybody in this room and buy this whole place. Oh, what are you going to do? Get your money from your parents? No. MF, I got my own money. Name your price, name your bank. I got Switzerland. I got this, this, this. And so the guy who was doing the torture, he's looking at her like, oh, well, I took out a mortgage on my house to come and do this to you, but you actually got all this money and you can actually now off me buy your way out of this. And that's exactly what she did. And it was just really, I was like, wow. A lot of times when people say, oh, yeah, I got a booked up weekend, I'm going to be having fun this weekend, you automatically start thinking now, what kind of fun are you going to be doing? And then when they're trying to invite you to come away for the weekend with them, hell, don't you might not come back. It might be like that movie called The Menu. How these people all get an invitation to go to this island, and they're all supposedly going there to go partake of some good food and find out they're the ones that's on the menu. They gonna be just like, what the hell is going on? But I see a theme. I see a theme going on. Okay. I see a big ass theme going on where they're showing all this, cannibalistic eating type of movies, and they're trying to get your brain to accept the fact that it's okay to eat each other. No, it's not okay to eat each other because with that comes karma. Eating another person's um their DNA gets in your DNA and you're eating that. You're eating another human being. That no, that's you can't no. Mm-mm, no. That's right up there with the cricket thing. Putting crickets in your food and I sit back when I finished watching these movies, I sat back and I really thought about something. I said, that's why this is such a dense third dimension and fourth dimension, because these are in dimensional lingo, these are more like your hell realms. This is where you have all these lower beings that have no love energy in them. These are where these beings hang out doing this stuff. This is where when Constantine goes into the other world, he's going into that flip world, into that energy, looking for the other sister energy and trying to figure out where her soul is. And but if you really look around today, looking at the inverted energy and how these timelines are inverted and how things are shifting and moving, I mean, the amount of information that's coming in now that is constantly, as soon as you get the information, you're integrating it, boom, you got another one coming in. And it's just a constant information down. So just after watching that, I've been watching how there's a lot of things coming on about interracial relationships, and a lot of people are getting married, the whites and the blacks, and everyone's pairing up. We know what time it is. Let's just put it like that. I know what time it is, and anybody that's brown skin knows what time it is. So when we see interrelationships, I was like, that's good. Everybody should be able to marry who they want to marry and be with whomever they want. But here is the healing in it. And I thought this was really interesting what Spirit was sharing with me. So let's do a journey. Let's go back through time. Now, this might be triggering because I'm going to talk about slavery and I'm going to talk about blood crossing. If you are a sensitive person, I do not mean any disrespect upon your origin of your spirit or anything, but I'm just sharing this as a perspective. I want you to see it from a spiritual perspective point of view. Okay? If this is sensitive for you, now's the time to leave. You need to leave. Dun, 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 dun. Take your drink with you. Dun, 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 dun. Time out. Okay, here we go. So, so I want you to think about this. Now, I'm going to bring this up because I remember someone was telling me that another person has said of a non-brown skin. I'm going to keep it in that origin. Now, I'm not saying this to be disrespectful or nothing, but I want to share the story. Says that the the non the non brown skin people blood, we'll just say the Caucasians. The Caucasian blood got dirtied up because the black men slept with the Caucasian women and dirtied up the blood. Okay. And this is a person's research belief. And I'm like, no, that's not how that goes. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it very plain and clear, but I'm sharing with you what the message was that I got yesterday was really, and you're gonna see how this is folding. Let me grab my book. Hold on a second, because I want to really point this out why this is important. And it was such a beautiful message. Okay, let me turn to that one part because I want to really, because that kept coming up yesterday. You know how you just enjoying your day and you keep having information come up in pieces and then flashes. Okay, I got it. I got it open now. So now we go back through time of the timeline that showed the collective on a slave energy, the invasion of how slavery took place in many different places on the earth in many different ways. Okay. But let's just go ahead and just use the one everyone's familiar with, Africa. And yes, I already know some of our own people sold each other. Okay. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how this is coming in. And I'm going to show you. So I want you to think right now that you are a brown skinned person. If you're Caucasian and you're watching this video, I want you to think of yourself as brown skinned. And I want you to think of yourself as African. I want you to think of yourself minding your own business and someone of a non-brown skin comes and takes you off your land, puts you on a boat, and if you don't match up what they want to sell you for, throw you off the boat, drown you. If you have a baby and they can't get much for you and the baby, they throw your baby over. Okay? No. Okay, we're gonna keep it real because this is how history really is. So but there's medicine in this. I'm going to show it. So now they take you to the land. The beings that are buying you buy you because they want you to work their land, take care of their house and their children. Okay. Now they have you. You come over as a family, husband, wife, maybe a child. A lot of times they like to separate it out, but sometimes they don't separate it out. And what they would do to break down the family to make it as though you own nothing, you have nothing, you will be nothing. Where have we heard that before? you will have nothing, you will own nothing, but yet you will be happy. Where is that playing out today? Okay, pay attention. So now, this is the gruesome detail, and this is how the bloodlines got crossed. A lot of bloodlines got crossed, even in the Native American way, where Native American people, some of the people there were enslaved, along with African people. So the bloodline had already crossed there. So the Native, the African, and the Native American, will just use those terms, were the ones that crossed their bloodlines, helping each other out to survive or falling in love and creating another family dynamics. Okay, so that's how the bloodline happened. Then you have to think back also during the time of the slave, when it was the freedom running and the underground railroads, when there was a lot of running through the underground railroads to get to freedom. A lot of the Caucasian people who were helping in that married or were in relationships with people who were of color of brown skin. Okay. Rather it was a Native American, rather it was an African person, descent, whatever. They mixed their blood. All right. So that information of what this person was getting or what was misrepresented. You got to get the whole story. Now, here's the breakdown of some of the most horrendous things to break down a culture. And what they would do, the slave owners, they would break down the woman by raping the woman in front of the husband. Okay, the master would do that. And then to break down the man, they would rape the man. The slave owner would rape the man in front of the wife, not to mention what they would do to the children. All right. So when we talk about how did the bloodline get crossed, hello, that's how it happened. And that is a energy in the DNA of the deepest violation that anyone of a brown skin color could ever carry. Okay. Of how it was in how that energy timeline event carried through on certain people in that timeline. I'm going to keep it in a timeline event, okay? Because that timeline has disintegrated. But yet and still, as we are moving forward in our higher vibrations, those are DNA, timeline, energy, cellular memory, because that's the work I do, that has to be healed. It has to be healed. So the terminology that was used when a slave master that was non-brown skin was raping a African American woman, I should say African American, excuse me, wrong term, someone that was being enslaved. It was called splitting the black oak. And when the men, the owners, slave owners were raping the African men, it was called writing the book. Okay. So here's the healing. Now I want you to think about this. Say that you were a soul that happened to you. You were on that timeline at that time. Okay. And then now your soul has evolved and now you're in this new timeline. Okay. And then you meet someone who's not a brown skin, who's Caucasian, and you fall in love, you get married. Here's the medicine. What if you were the one who was raped or even murdered at that time? And the master owner was a part of that. but his generational bloodline, all the way up to now, boom, here's a great, 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 great grandson now marrying a great, 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 great granddaughter of that timeline. And they come together to heal the ancestral wound in their bloodline because it's still in the DNA of the Caucasian to have that energy. So how do you heal the energy? You bring the two energies that need the healing, bring it together to create a more divine sacred couple of energy, of healing that represents the highest form of love. Because in order to be of that love, loving of self, loving of the divine self of self, walking in that Christ consciousness of self, and then to come together and uniting. And that does not mean in the old way where you sit back and say, oh, I don't see your color. Oh, I don't see. No, it doesn't mean ignoring a person's color. It means honoring their history of themselves and their ancestral and their connection of who they are. You know, I never would say to somebody, oh, I don't see your white skin. I don't see you. I don't see your color. But I get that a lot from people who are not brown skinned. Oh, I never saw your color. Really? How you been seeing me? You know? So this is why this is coming in. And here's the message. The mixing of the blood is the correction for the lives that were taken during the slavery, the children and the women that were killed, and the marriages that are being now are the karmic debt being paid to bring back into balance, to do the right thing, to bring in the healing. So this is why we have this now. Now to go deeper, to bring it in deeper. When we look it up in the gene key, okay, gene key. And in gene key 55, it talks about the marriage of the sacred couple that is going to be required in 5, 6, and 7 dimensional on Earth. It's required because they are holding the collective energy of we. They're holding the collective energy of divine sacred love. Okay? So they are symbolizing that energy of wholeness for the community, the divine masculine, divine feminine energy. And it doesn't really matter if you got 2 men or 2 women. One of them has to be representing the masculine energy as well as the female energy. It has to be that balance. One person's representing that. So when we talk about this, it's the collective of the we, the sacred. And in this, they bring in the abundance. They teach about the holding in of the beauty of the relationship. And it is not a draining situation for a couple to be together. It is a giving receptacle, receiving balance, infinite love. Give, take, give, take. So this is where the sacred couple union is going. And that's what's coming in. And this is why you're going to see more mixing of the blood. It also helps with all this radiation that's going on from the sun. Melanin. Now, we already know the doctors and scientists have been doing all this research on melanin, trying to figure out how to get melanin to increase in certain people who don't have a lot of it as a protection with this radiation. That's the truth of it. I have the I think it was the Journal of American Medical. I think I have that still in storage, but I was reading it before all this stuff came down with the whole viral stuff running around. Okay. I was reading that before that stuff happened, and everything started to take place. A year after I got that magazine, they posted that, and they were showing all these experiments that they were doing to try to get that. How could they come up with something to put into and to administer to activate that in people? You following? And the natural thing that, because they were running out of time, is that they were saying people needed to come together and they needed to unite. And that's why you started seeing all of these commercials of black, white, black, white. Everything was black, white. They were building up more and more. Uh, the culture mixing, mixing, trying to give the message, kind of mix the blood. Okay. And then a lot of people were getting it. They were getting it. And then some were just downright blind, not getting it, not understanding what's coming. So in this medicine of healing on this timeline, I'm looking at it from a DNA cellular healing point of view. That wow, karmically, all the way through those timelines, they have to come together to heal that ancestral timeline on both sides. The one that committed the act and the one that had to receive the act had to be healed. And healing that energy, cleaning it up, bringing it into a soul healing. Because the collective gets the healing from that every time when somebody gets together in their divine crystalline Christ conscious way to bring in that energy. It brings in that healing. This is why you're seeing all of this. Then you're going to see other energies bump up against it, and they're going to be like, nah, that's the old timeline energy that holds that. Okay. And if you still can sit around and say something to somebody in a way that's a negative about their color and comparing it to a candle, you got some healing to do. Okay. So there's a lot of healing. And this goes for anyone that's ever had anything that it goes pretty deep. If a brown skinned woman was raped by white men, and flip it, if a white skinned woman was raped by black men, there's a lot of healing that needs to take place there. So people coming together on those higher timelines as a collective are healing that, bringing in healing for that, because the ones that need the healing are the ones that are still suffering in silence. And it becomes a generational silent poison that takes over their lives in so many different ways. So when this was brought to me, I was just like, wow, because I'm actually setting up, getting ready to push forward a healing modality for anyone that has gone through molestation and rape, because these are such heavy energies when it's in your cellular energy of how you have to move past that and how you have to heal it first, and so that you can live your life in peace and you're not constantly getting the replay. This is why a lot of people who have drug addictions or heavy usage of dependency on certain plant medicines, whatever you want to call it, if there's something that hasn't been healed, this is why they constantly do this, because they're sedating themselves because of the pain. And they never had anyone there to help them process it in a safe way, in a sacred way, so that they can get the healing that they need, so that pain can stop becoming a painful memory and the body goes through all of its stuff. Okay. When you have something like that, you get the anxiety, you get the depression, you get the fear of who's coming into your space, who's going to try to take something away from you. You know, you don't trust very easily when you've been violated like that. And then it becomes a secret energy that you are living in, and that you don't want other people to ever find out what you have endured. And it causes people to act out in different sexual ways, if they've had that violation, especially when they were young. And then they start secretively acting out in a different way, and they keep it hidden. So I'm looking forward to how Creator will guide me to put this medicine together, this healing modality, within the spiral light, because it everything is coming up now. And like I said, just to watch some of those movies yesterday, it really was revealing a lot of different things. And I look at it as opportunities to see certain things for a place of healing. And how can that be healed? And I think one of the most beautiful things right now that's happening on our planet, we're given a choice. You're given a choice to either stay the way you are and to keep doing stuff the way you've been doing it, or you're going to go the new way, be on the new organic timeline on Mother Earth, stepping into those higher dimensional energy of 5, 6, and 7, and commanding to be there by your divine birthright and being tapped in and anchored into that, versus being forced to try to stay in this timeline that's dissolving. It doesn't hold truth. There's a lot going on right now, and as an individual on this planet, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are feeling that right now. That up and down, up and down. This is why a lot of times I talk about certain kind of movies to watch, because there's so many messages in these movies that they put right in front of your face. And when you go back and look at it, you're like, whoa, I didn't notice that before. Whoa, I didn't see that. Oh, wow. These wow moments. So it's a healing going on a higher consciousness, a higher timeline. And that's a good thing. And I'm glad at my age, in this lifetime, I'm actually seeing that healing coming in. And I hope it progresses and keeps healing. Because the one thing that this planet needs is to stop separating out, thinking that one race is better than another. It's called the human race on this planet. We all signed up to come down here. We all signed our contracts to come down here and to get involved. Okay, to move through and heal and bring a higher consciousness awareness. And some of us have done our work so well that there is change taking place on this planet for the better. Might not look like it because you got a lot of shenanigan crap and bull crap going on right now. But for me personally, I live my life 5, 6, and 7, and 8 in ninth dimension. I'm not living in that 3 and 4 dimensional energy. I'm not believing in the storylines in my world of lack of food, of lack of this, of lack of that. I find myself, when I stop talking about it and just live my life in the way that I choose to live it, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for me. If I see something I want to have and I want to spend my money on it, I go buy it. I'm not sitting back saying, "Oh, I gotta wait. I might not have money by tomorrow." I'm not doing that. I'm not acting or living my life like that. I'm living my life in a awakened divine sovereignty being, connected to divine source, God, creator, mother, father, God. And I have abundance. I have the love. I have all those things. Anything in between that I have to work on or whatever, that's just little stuff. I have my health. I have people that I associate with that I love. Hopefully, they love me back. um, and that's what I do. And I'm not down here to kiss nobody's butt, or better yet, learn my lesson on, oh, you got to go clean it up with this person. Oh, you got to go clean what up? Because I said no to something or I said yes to something. Now I got to go fix it because I stood in my own divine truth and said no or yes to something. No, maybe you need to look at yourself on what you need to clean up with yourself and stop projecting it out on other people, period. Because I learned that from a lot of recovering people. They taught me some really good medicine. I learned that. It's not always about me cleaning up something with them or whoever it is that's having issues in their tissues. All right. So be aware. We're in testing times right now where our consciousness is being tested on certain things. How are you maneuvering through this higher frequency? All your stuff gonna come up. And it's okay to embrace things and say, yes, I'm having a crappy day today, or yes, I experienced this today. But how are you maneuvering out of the energy? Are you choosing to just keep waddling in it and staying in it? And or are you just saying, okay, that's what it is. Let's look at a solution. Let's look at a better way to handle this and move up into it. Is this a time to be a lion or not a lion? Time to react or not to react? That's the kind of game we're in now. So I hope this wasn't too heavy for all of you. This was not going to be about racism or anything. Don't go getting it twisted. Don't go trying to make it up to be something that it wasn't, because that's not what it was about. It was about bringing in that higher consciousness of healing of the sacred couple, the sacred divine couple, and what healing those timelines it's going to do for so many people. Every time when someone comes together with someone of a different race, it's healing something that happened between those two cultures, healing that timeline. And here's how you know it's healing. Because when you're together, those words, the N word never comes up in a relationship at all. You never say, why is that always happening whenever we go out? I don't understand why people got an issue with us. And that it doesn't exist because your vibration is going to be so high, it doesn't attract those people. And you don't carry the activated DNA of that. You heal it for your whole family bloodline. That's what this is all about, healing those bloodlines, because that's what we need. And that needs to be done. Because if no one's brave enough to come forward and apologize and correct it and do a plan of correction and implement that, then it needs to go through the bloodlines of the young ones. And that's how it will be done. And let it all be done and let it all be healed. And with that being said, thank you for joining me here on Be So Light, because you never know what we're going to talk about. So it was not my intention to make you feel bad in any way, shape, or form. It was my intention to share with you the healing that's coming in and how it's showing up. So be good to yourself. Much love. And that's a wrap on Be So Light. Hit that like and subscribe. And that'll 4, 3, 2, 1.